Is there beef between the girls? Is it expensive? How much do you pay? What kind of questions do they ask you during recruitment? Are the rumors true about the torture people have to go through to get into a sorority? Do you ever think about dropping your sorority? Hey guys, it's Emma. So today I'm going to be talking about what being in a sorority is like. Ever since I joined my sorority last year, you guys have been requesting for me to make a video talking about my experience and if any of the stereotypes regarding sororities are true. So I'm just gonna be super honest and talk about my experience and answer your guys' most popular questions. And also keep in mind that what is true for me might not necessarily be true for someone else. Being in a sorority is different at every school and in every chapter. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into your guys' juicy sorority questions. Okay, so the first question is being in a sorority essentially paying for friends? Being in a sorority is much more than just having an automatic group of friends. It's paying for all the events like bid day, which is a lot of money to put on and set up and have like food and everything like that. It's recruitment, which is when they train us. And during my recruitment training, they fed us, so they catered for like the whole chapter, which is a lot of money. So it's things like that that you're paying for, not for the group of friends. Are the rumors true about the torture people have to go through to get into a sorority? This was something I was really scared about when I was going through recruitment, but the answer is no. At least for my sorority, there was no hazing whatsoever. It was very inclusive and welcoming from the get-go, and they never made you do anything that you didn't want to do. Do you guys hang out with frat boys all day, every day? Definitely not. We have exchanges with fraternities, which means like we might have a dinner together where we go to their chapter house and kind of just like mingle, eat dinner, that kind of thing. And also each sorority usually has like a certain fraternity they're like kind of like buddies with, but definitely not. We don't hang out with them all day, every day. I will say being in a sorority is a good way to meet guys from other fraternities, and it's super fun when you have like one-on-one exchanges with a certain fraternity because you really get to know the guys. Have you ever felt forced to do something you didn't want to do in order to be in your sorority? Definitely not. Also guys, I'm sorry if I'm like really low energy in this video. I'm like getting really hot because I'm hungry. I don't know if that even makes sense or if that's possible, but I'm like kind of lightheaded and I should have eaten before this video, but I didn't. Is it cliquey? I definitely wouldn't say it's cliquey. Everyone's super like inclusive and welcoming, but people will like naturally form their own groups. Like I know I have like a group of 5 girls, including myself, who I like tend to hang out with at functions, but it's definitely not cliquey. Like we're all friends with each other. We just have our own like subgroups, if that makes sense, but everybody's friends with everybody. Is there beef between the girls? So I assume you're referring to beef like within the chapter, not beef with other chapters, but I guess I'll just answer both. There's not, at least at my school, there's not beef between chapters. All of the chapters are super supportive and inclusive of each other, and I have friends in like every single chapter at my school, and I think like everyone can say the same. It doesn't matter what chapter you're in, everybody's friends with everybody. And inside the sorority, I would definitely say there's no beef. Like everybody's super supportive of each other, and it's honestly like a super happy environment. I know whenever I go to any function, everyone's always super happy and welcoming and excited to see you. Is it expensive? How much do you pay? So it depends what chapter you're in at what school, because different chapters are gonna fund different things. And I know especially like at schools in the South, they have giant sorority houses, so I assume their dues are a lot more expensive. I would say it's expensive enough where you have to kind of like think about if it's worth it for you. It's definitely doable, and you can apply for scholarships or like select a certain payment plan that works for you. And there's also financial aid, things like that. But it does add up, to be honest, and like I said, it's not gonna be worth it for everybody, but I feel like for me, I've definitely gotten the value for what I've been paying these past couple years. The next question is, how does recruitment work? So recruitment is a mutual selection process, which means you have to pick the sorority and the sorority has to pick you back. So basically recruitment is about a week long, and you go to all the different chapters and talk to different girls in each chapter, and then at the end of the day, you have to narrow down your selection, and it gets smaller and smaller each day. So you rank your top, they'll rank you, and if you guys like both wanted each other, then you'll go back. If you didn't want them, you'll drop them. If they didn't want you, they'll drop you. It sounds like really personal, but at the end of the day, if a chapter drops you, it's just because they know you'll fit better somewhere else, and at the end of the day, it all works out and you end up where you're supposed to be. I actually filmed a recruitment vlog when I went through it last year, so if you guys want to see that video and me talking about all my thoughts as I went through it, I will link that video down below. What kind of questions do they ask you during recruitment? So I was super scared that going through recruitment would be like a job interview, like super serious, like tell me like your greatest weakness, like things like that, but it's not like that at all. It's super conversational. It's like you meet somebody and you just start having a conversation with them. It's like that. So they'll ask like, oh, like where are you from? Like what are you majoring in? Like they'll start with surface level questions like that just to get like some background on you, and then they'll be like, oh, like what's your favorite food? Do you like boba? Like things like that. It's super conversational, so not to worry at all. Our sorority is different depending on your school. So yes, they definitely are. I know where I go to school, Greek life isn't super big. We don't have like super big houses that the whole chapter lives in. It's a lot more smaller and low-key than like schools in the South, for example, where they have like Greek row and all the houses are next to each other and they're super big and you can't miss them type of thing. And I'd also say schools like that have a lot more events and it's a lot more live and breathe your sorority type of thing. And I'm not saying that's bad or anything, I just feel like Greek life is a lot more heavy at some schools, and at other schools it's a lot more just like something on the side, like a club. And I definitely say like that's how it is at my school. Like being in a sorority or not being in a sorority like doesn't define who you are. It's just like another thing that you're involved in. Do you ever think about dropping your sorority? So this is a difficult question. I really love being in my sorority, but the older I get and like the more expenses I have, it definitely is like harder to pay my dues and like to be okay putting up that money. And at this point, I'm almost done with my second year of college. I feel like I've gained like all my friends, and whether or not I'm in a sorority like won't affect that. Like I'll still have those friends even if I'm not in my sorority. I definitely would like to stay in it, but it's getting to the point where I'm like, is it worth like me spending the money to stay in the sorority? Because like I said, it is affordable, but like money is money when you're in college, and it's like everything helps, and it's always good to like set money aside for after college. And so I'm kind of just like in that place right now. Like I don't know like if the benefits outweigh the negatives, I guess you could say. So yeah, in a perfect world I would stay in it. I like it. I'm just like battling with like the dues part of it, and I feel like I'm like contradicting myself now because I said like the dues like weren't a big deal, and they're not. Just like personally for me, because I do pay my own dues and I do pay like, you know, my utilities at my house, and I pay for groceries, just like a lot of things add up, and it's just like I have to like weigh like what do I want to be spending my money on, if that makes sense. Is it a huge time commitment? So like I said before, it will vary depending on what school you go to. Some schools are way more Greek life heavy than other schools. I have friends that go to like USC where they have like a ton of Greek life events a week. Ours is a lot more laid back, like I said, and you have the flexibility of like choosing what events you want to go to. Some events are mandatory, like chapter meetings and like getting your service hours, things like that. But as far as social events, you get a lot of flexibility to choose which ones you want to go to. So I'd say it really just depends on you, and you get out what you put in. What are bigs and littles? So a big is basically when you join the sorority, you get kind of like a big sister to kind of like guide and mentor you and get you assimilated into the chapter. And she's kind of just like your big sister like throughout your sorority experience. And your little is your little sister, so usually your second year you will get a little, and then you become their big and you like mentor them and again get them assimilated into the chapter. It's a really cool relationship. That's probably been one of my favorite things about being in a sorority, because they're not just like a friend to you, they're your mentor, or if they're your little, they're someone like you really like want to watch over and protect at all costs. And I guess I'll also mention like how you get bigs and littles. So basically when you first join a sorority, you go on like tons of dates. They're like girl dates, they're like friend dates, and you kind of see like who you vibe with the most. And then after that's over, the little and the big will like rank like who they feel like they would best be matched with. And so let's say I put a girl named Lily and she puts me too, then we would be big and little. And then once you get your little, it's super fun because you know before they know who you are. And there's a whole week where you like deliver baskets with gifts to the house, and it's just really fun because they get like pampered and all this stuff, and they don't know who you are, and you can write like clues in their basket that either are true or false to throw them off. I actually filmed a video of both me getting my baskets when I was little and me giving the baskets when I became a big, so I'll link both of those videos down below. They're super fun because you can see like what my big got for me and what I got for my little. So yeah, it's probably one of my favorite things about being in a sorority. It's just a ton of fun. Guys, so those are all of the questions I'm going to answer today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Let me know if you have any more questions about sororities or Greek life in the comments down below, and I will try to get to them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!